Martin Hale stood in the doorway of Daniel Cho's office with the confidence of a man who had rehearsed the moment. His suit was immaculate. His expression was controlled. His timing was not. It was too early for him to be there by accident. Daniel stood behind his desk, still pale from the note they had just read from Nadia Kwan's hidden file. Maya Cross turned fully toward Martin. Samantha Carter sat beside the laptop, her hand resting near the trackpad. Priya Menon remained near the conference table, quiet but alert. Martin looked first at Daniel. "We have a problem," he said. Daniel's voice stayed even. "Yes, we do." Martin stepped into the office. "Calyx is concerned." Maya watched him carefully, not his words, his posture, his eyes, the way his right hand flexed once before going still. Daniel folded his arms. Why would Calyx be concerned? Because they expected a signed response by now. Instead, they are hearing delays, legal concerns, and outside review. Priya's tone was cool. "Outside review is appropriate." Martin glanced at her. "Not when it threatens a transaction of this size." "What threatens the transaction," Priya said, "is the language Calyx inserted into the revised agreement." Martin looked annoyed. Aggressive confidentiality language is not unusual. It is when it attempts to restrict discussion of irregularities discovered during diligence, Maya said. Martin turned toward her. "Ms. Cross, Maya is fine. I understand you were brought in to review concerns." "No," Maya said. "I was brought in because something did not make sense." "And now?" "Now more things do not make sense." Daniel took a step forward. "Did you know Nadia Kwan?" Martin's expression did not change, but his pause lasted half a second too long. "She was a compliance employee at Calyx," he said. "I may have been on a call with her." "That is not what I asked." "No," Martin said. I did not know her personally." Sam looked up from the laptop. "Then why did you ask Harborview whether their security footage still existed?" The room went silent. Martin turned to her. For the first time, irritation broke through his polish. "Excuse me?" Sam's voice remained calm. "Harborview Residences and Conference Center. Someone matching your voice called them this morning and asked about retained footage from 3 weeks ago." Martin laughed once. "That is absurd." "Is it?" Maya asked. Martin looked back at Daniel. "This is exactly what I was afraid of. You have let speculation turn into accusation." "No," Daniel said quietly. "I let trust turn into assumption. That may have been my mistake." Martin's face tightened. Daniel continued. "Did you attend a meeting at Harborview involving Nadia Kwan or Eric Langford?" "No." Sam tapped the laptop once. "That answer may not age well." Martin looked at her with open contempt. "Samantha Carter, is it?" "Yes." "I would be careful." Maya stepped slightly forward. "With what?" Martin's eyes shifted to her. "Professional reputations," he said. "Once damaged, they are difficult to repair." Priya closed the folder in front of her. That sounded very close to a threat. "It was advice." "No," Daniel said. "It was enough." Martin turned back to him. "Daniel, you are removed from all merger-related discussions pending review." For the first time, Martin looked genuinely alarmed. "You cannot do that unilaterally." "I just did." "The board will not support this." Then the board can explain why it wants my CFO involved in a deal where restricted internal documents were copied, a compliance officer disappeared, and Calyx is pressuring us to sign silence into a contract. Martin stared at him. The office felt smaller. Then Martin adjusted his jacket and recovered the mask. "You are making a serious mistake," he said. Daniel held his gaze. "Maybe, but at least it will be mine." Martin looked once at Maya, then at Sam. Then he left. The door closed behind him. Daniel did not move for several seconds. Priya crossed the office and locked the door. Sam exhaled. "Well, that was pleasant." Maya looked at Daniel. "How much access does he still have?" Daniel's face hardened. "Too much." Priya was already reaching for her phone. "I'll restrict him formally." "Do it now," Maya said, "and preserve his communications, access logs and calendar. History under Council's direction." Daniel nodded to Priya. Then he looked at Maya. "You think he is involved. I think he is scared. That is not the same thing." "No," Maya said, "but it is close enough to act." Sam turned the laptop so they could see the timeline. Nadia's note said Harborview. Martin just reacted to Harborview. That is where we go next. Daniel looked toward the door Martin had just exited. For 6 years, Martin Hale had helped him build Arden Crest Systems into something investors respected. Now Daniel could not tell whether the man had protected the company's future or quietly sold access to it. His voice lowered. "Find out what happened there." Maya picked up her bag. "We will." Harborview Residences and Conference Center did not look like a place where secrets were hidden. It looked like a place where secrets were expected to arrive properly dressed. Glass walls, quiet lobby, discreet staff, orchids arranged so precisely they seemed inspected by legal counsel. Sam looked around as they crossed the lobby. "This place has a confidentiality agreement built into the furniture." Maya kept walking. "Try not to say that in front of management." "I said it quietly." "You said it with feeling." At the front desk, Maya introduced herself and handed over a preservation letter Priya had prepared. The manager read the first page, then looked up. "We cannot disclose guest information without legal process." "We understand," Maya said. "This is a preservation request. We are asking Harborview to retain all records connected to a meeting involving Nadia Kwan and Eric Langford 3 weeks ago." The manager's expression stayed professional, but his eyes changed. Sam noticed. Maya did too. "Is there someone else we should speak with?" Maya asked. After a moment he said, "Please wait." He disappeared into a side office and returned with a woman in a grey dress and black-framed glasses. "Elaine Voss," she said, "Director of Operations." Maya handed her the letter. Elaine read it quickly. Then she led them into a private office and shut the door. "I cannot provide records without process," Elaine said. "But you remember the meeting," Maya replied. Elaine looked at her for a long moment. "Yes." Sam opened her tablet. "Nadia Kwan and Eric Langford met here." Elaine did not answer directly. "2 people matching those names used one of our executive conference rooms." "Were they alone?" Maya asked. "For most of the meeting." "Most?" Elaine hesitated. Maya let the silence sit. Finally, Elaine said, "A 3rd person was seen near the conference floor before and after." Sam pulled up a photo and turned the tablet. "Martin Hale." Elaine looked at the image. She did not speak. She did not need to. Maya nodded once. That confirms it. Elaine looked uncomfortable. I am not confirming anything beyond my memory. Understood. Sam leaned forward. Did Nadia appear frightened? No. Coerced? No. Was Eric distressed? Nervous, Elaine said, but not unwilling. Maya absorbed that. This changed the shape of the story. Nadia had not been dragged into Harborview. She had gone there to meet someone, to learn something, maybe to receive something. Elaine folded the preservation letter. There is more. Maya waited. A man called this morning asking whether footage from 3 weeks ago still existed. Did he identify himself? No. But you recognized his voice. Elaine looked again at Martin's photo. Yes. Sam's eyes sharpened. Martin is trying to find out whether he was recorded, or whether Nadia and Eric were, Maya said. Elaine slid the letter back across the desk. I will preserve everything, but you need formal process quickly. Priya had said the same thing. That meant time was shortening. Maya stood. Thank you. Elaine's expression softened slightly. If Ms. Kwan is alive, she is probably afraid of the wrong people. Maya paused at the door. No, she said. I think she is afraid of exactly the right ones. Outside Harborview, the heat hit them hard. Sam put on her sunglasses and looked back at the building. She wasn't a victim at Harborview. No, Maya said. She was investigating. Yes, and Martin was watching her. Maya looked down the street, which means his involvement started before Daniel hired us. Sam's phone buzzed. She checked it. Priya. What? She locked Martin out of the merger files. That's good. It would be better if he had not left the building with his company laptop before security reached him. Maya stopped walking. Sam gave a grim smile. Exactly. Maya looked back toward Harborview. He is moving. So are we. Find Eric Langford. I already have a lead. Maya turned. Sam lifted the phone. Former Calyx accountant. Left Singapore after the Harborview meeting. Public records suggest Vancouver. Can we reach him? Maybe not directly. Then indirectly. Sam nodded. There is a former forensic accountant named Amelia Ross. Eric contacted her through an encrypted platform 2 days ago. She has testified in corporate misconduct cases before. Maya understood immediately. He was not just hiding. He was preparing. Contact him. Sam was already typing. Eric Langford agreed to speak 40 minutes later. He appeared on the screen from a dim room with plain walls and no visible windows. His face looked thinner than the profile photo Sam had found, but his eyes were clear. You found Nadia? He asked. No, Maya said. We were hoping you could help us do that. Eric looked down briefly. When he looked back, the worry was real. I told her to disappear. Sam sat forward. Why? Because she was still trying to follow the rules. Maya said nothing. Eric continued. Nadia found irregularities in Calyx's acquisition reporting. Not one mistake, a pattern. Round-tripping? Sam asked. Eric nodded once. Among other things, funds moved through controlled entities and came back as advisory revenue, investment commitments, or performance-linked fees. It made growth look stronger and debt look lighter. Maya watched him carefully. Who knew? Kieran Rusk knew he had to. The CFO. Yes. Evelyn Strake. Eric hesitated. Maya noticed. Say only what you know. I know she pushed deals that depended on those numbers. I know she dismissed internal concerns. I know Nadia believed Evelyn was coordinating pressure on anyone who questioned the reporting, but you cannot prove Evelyn approved the structure. Not alone. That was honest, useful. Sam asked, "What happened at Harborview?" Eric's jaw tightened. "I gave Nadia records." "What kind?" "Internal reconciliations, draft schedules, communications that never made it into the official files. Enough to show the reported revenue and the actual cash movement did not match." Maya leaned forward. "Did anyone see you give them to her?" "Yes." "Martin Hale?" Eric's eyes lifted. "You know about him." "We know he was there." "He approached Nadia after I left." "What did he say?" Eric repeated it slowly. "Careful people survive longer when they understand which doors should remain closed." Sam's expression hardened. "That sounds like Martin thinks he is in a novel." "It scared Nadia," Eric said. "Not because of the words, because he should not have known she was there." Maya's voice remained steady. "Where is Nadia?" Eric looked away from the screen. The silence stretched. Maya let it. Finally he said, "She contacted Lena Park." Sam was already searching. "Former Calyx compliance investigator," she said. "Resigned 18 months ago." Eric nodded. "Lena left after her own reports disappeared. Nadia trusted her." "Where is Lena?" "Johor." Sam looked at Maya. "Malaysia. Close, believable, reachable." Maya looked back at Eric. "Do you believe Nadia is with her?" "I believe if Nadia is alive, that is where she went." His voice broke slightly on the word alive. Then he recovered. "I gave her the documents because I thought she would know what to do with them." Maya studied him. And then I realized we were giving evidence to systems already built to bury it." That landed, because Maya knew exactly why Nadia had disappeared. Not cowardice, not panic, recognition. Eric's voice softened. "Find her." Maya nodded once. "We will." That evening, Maya stepped outside the temporary workspace and called Adrian Vale. He answered on the second ring. "Please tell me you are calling for a reason that does not involve arbitration," he said. Despite the case, Maya smiled. "Still bad?" "Worse. Everyone in the room believes language can be sharpened into a weapon." "That may be the most accurate description of international arbitration I have ever heard." "You sound tired." "I am. Did you find what you were looking for?" "Part of it." "And the person?" Maya looked through the glass wall at Sam, who was still working. "Not yet." Adrian was quiet. Maya surprised herself by saying more. "I'm worried about her." "Nadia?" "Yes." "Because she matters to the case?" "Because she did what people are told to do. She reported. She escalated. She trusted the process. Then the process failed her." Adrian did not rush to answer. That was one of the things Maya appreciated about him. Finally he said, "Then finding her matters more." Maya closed her eyes briefly. "Yes." "Do that first." A faint smile touched her face. "That is your legal advice." "No, that is my human advice." For a moment, neither spoke. Then Adrian added, "And Maya?" "Yes." "Be careful and brave." She opened her eyes. "I remember." "Good." After the call ended, Maya stood alone on the balcony for a moment, then she went back inside. Sam looked up. "Adrian?" "Yes." "Useful?" Maya picked up her bag. "Annoyingly." Sam smiled. Good. Maya looked at the map on the screen. Johor, Lena Park, possibly Nadia. Pack light, Maya said. Sam stood. We leave now. We leave before Martin figures out where we're going. The drive into Johor began before sunrise. The roads were quiet. Most of the city remained asleep as Maya and Samantha crossed into Malaysia. Neither woman spoke much during the first hour. There was little left to discuss. For the first time since Daniel Cho had hired them, they had a real destination. Not a theory, not a clue, a person, Nadia Kwan. Assuming Eric Langford was right, assuming they were not already too late. Sam finally broke the silence. I've been thinking about Martin. Maya kept her eyes on the road. That sounds unhealthy. It probably is. Maya smiled faintly. Sam continued, Something still bothers me. What? If Martin was involved from the beginning, why stay at Arden Crest? Maya considered it. Money. Maybe. Power. Maybe. Sam stared out the window. I think it's something else. Maya glanced toward her. What? I think Martin convinced himself he wasn't doing anything wrong. That got Maya's attention. Sam continued. He probably started small. A conversation. A document. A favor. Information. Maya nodded. That sounded realistic. Too realistic. Sam continued. Then suddenly he's helping people hide fraud and doesn't know how to stop. Maya was quiet for several seconds. That may be the most dangerous kind of person. The one who thinks he's still the good guy? Exactly. Neither woman said anything else, because they both knew people like that existed everywhere. Johor felt different from Singapore, less hurried, less polished, more human. The apartment building overlooking the waterfront looked ordinary enough that Maya almost drove past it, which made it perfect. People hiding from powerful organizations rarely chose dramatic locations. They chose places that blended into the background. Apartment 7B, the number sat on the door in simple black lettering. Maya knocked. Nothing. She waited. Knocked again. A faint movement sounded inside. The lock clicked. The door opened a few inches. A woman in her mid-40s looked out. Sharp eyes, careful posture, alert. Lena Park. Can I help you? Maya showed her identification. Maya Cross. Then she indicated Sam. Samantha Carter. The woman's expression shifted. Not much, but enough. You found me? Maya nodded. We'd like to speak with you. No. The door started closing. Maya spoke quickly. Eric Langford sent us. The movement stopped. The door remained partially open. For several seconds, Lena simply stared. Then she asked, Is Eric safe? As far as we know. Lena studied both women carefully, evaluating, calculating, trying to decide whether they represented help or danger. Finally, she stepped back. Come inside. The apartment was modest but comfortable. Books lined one wall. Several plants sat near the windows. The space felt intentionally normal. Maya appreciated that. People who lived around secrets often craved ordinary things. Lena remained standing. You found Nadia faster than I expected. Sam smiled slightly. We take that as a compliment. Lena almost smiled back. Almost. Then Maya asked the question that mattered. Is she here? Lena looked toward the hallway, then nodded. Relief hit Maya harder than she expected. Alive, at least for now. Can we speak with her? That depends. On what? On whether she trusts you. Maya accepted that. Fair. Lena disappeared down the hallway. The apartment became quiet. Sam looked around, then toward Maya. Neither spoke. Finally, footsteps approached, and Nadia Kwan entered the room. For a moment, nobody moved. Nadia looked tired. Not injured, not defeated, exhausted. The exhaustion of someone carrying fear for weeks. But her eyes remained sharp, focused, determined. She looked first at Maya, then Sam, then smiled faintly. "You found me." Maya nodded. "Yes." Nadia sat down slowly. "I was beginning to think you wouldn't." Sam smiled. "We take that personally." The comment earned the first genuine smile Nadia had shown. Small, but real. Maya sat opposite her. "Eric told us some of what happened." Nadia nodded. "Only some. We'd like to hear the rest." For several moments Nadia said nothing. Then she took a slow breath and began. At first the story sounded almost boring. Compliance reviews, exception reports, approval chains, risk assessments, the kinds of things most people ignored, which was exactly why the fraud had survived. Nadia explained how she noticed unusual patterns. Certain transactions repeatedly bypassed standard review. Certain approvals moved too quickly. Certain entities appeared too often. When she raised concerns, managers dismissed them. When she escalated, meetings were postponed. When she documented findings, files disappeared. The deeper she looked, the stranger things became. "I thought I was missing something." Maya nodded. "Most people do." "Exactly." Nadia looked down briefly. "I kept assuming there had to be a reasonable explanation. And then I found Eric." The room became still. Nadia continued. "He had already found pieces of it. Not everything, but enough." She looked toward the window. "The Harborview meeting changed everything." "What happened?" "He showed me the real numbers." The words came quietly, but they landed heavily. "The debt existed." She paused. "The losses existed." Another pause. "The growth did not." Sam leaned forward. "Kieran Rusk?" Nadia nodded. "He knew." "Evelyn Strake?" A longer pause, then, "I cannot prove everything she knew." Maya appreciated the answer. Careful, evidence-based, credible, Nadia continued. "But she knew enough." The atmosphere changed when the conversation turned to Martin Hale. Nadia's expression hardened immediately. "He approached me after Harborview." "What did he say?" Maya asked. Nadia repeated the warning exactly. The same words Eric had reported. The same words Maya had already memorized. When she finished, Sam shook her head. "He wasn't warning you." "No." Nadia's voice remained calm. "He was reminding me he could find me." The room went quiet, because everyone understood the difference. A warning offers protection. A reminder establishes control. Nadia continued, "I knew then the problem wasn't limited to Calyx. You believed someone outside the company was involved." "Yes." "Why?" Nadia looked directly at Maya. "Because Martin shouldn't have known where I was." The answer was simple and devastating. After another hour of discussion, Nadia finally stood. "There is something else." She crossed the room and retrieved a small lockbox from a closet shelf. When she returned, even Lena looked nervous. Nadia placed the box on the table. The room suddenly felt smaller. "What is it?" Sam asked. "The reason I disappeared." Then Nadia opened it. Inside were flash drives, printed reports, transaction records, internal communications, handwritten notes, years of documentation. Not summaries, not suspicions. Evidence. Real evidence. Maya picked up the first report. The scale became obvious immediately. Revenue inflation, hidden liabilities, shell entities, circular funding structures, misrepresented acquisition performance. The same names appeared repeatedly. Kieran Rusk, again and again and again. Then Evelyn Strake, not as frequently but often enough, and occasionally Martin Hale. Sam looked up from the records. "This is enough." Nadia nodded. "I know." For the first time since accepting Daniel's assignment, Maya felt certainty settle into place. The fraud was real, the evidence was real, and the people involved were exactly as dangerous as she suspected. The next several hours moved quickly. Secure calls connected Johor, Singapore, Vancouver, and Washington. Daniel joined. So did Priya. Eric Langford participated remotely. Evidence preservation procedures were reviewed. Chain of custody requirements were established. Potential disclosure pathways were discussed. Daniel remained mostly silent. Eventually he spoke. "I trusted these people." Nobody responded immediately because there was no useful response. Finally, Maya said, "You trusted the version they wanted you to see." Daniel nodded slowly. That seemed to help, at least a little. Later that evening, Daniel called Maya privately. The exhaustion in his face seemed deeper now, but so did the clarity. "I almost signed that agreement." Maya leaned back in her chair. "But you didn't." "Because of you and Sam." "No," Daniel frowned. "What?" "You didn't sign because something felt wrong." Daniel considered that, then smiled faintly. "You're not very good at taking credit." "No." "Is that intentional?" "Usually." The smile stayed. For the first time in days, Daniel looked like himself again. "Thank you anyway," Maya nodded. "You're welcome." That night, long after the calls ended, Maya stepped onto the balcony overlooking the water. The city lights reflected softly below. The air felt cooler, calmer. For the first time since the investigation began, they were ahead, or at least it felt that way. Her phone buzzed. "Adrian," she answered. "How bad is arbitration now?" Adrian laughed. "Worse. 2 attorneys spent 40 minutes arguing over a definition." "Only 40? I admire your optimism." Maya smiled. The sound relaxed something inside her. Adrian heard it immediately. "You found her?" It wasn't a question. "Yes." "Alive?" "Yes." A pause. Then, "Good." Just that. Good. Somehow it meant more than a speech. Maya looked out across the water. "I was worried." "I know." "You do?" "You're predictable in very specific ways." She laughed softly. "That sounds insulting." "It wasn't intended that way." The silence that followed felt comfortable. Not awkward, comfortable, a rare thing. Finally, Adrian said, "Get some sleep." "You sound like Sam." "That is increasingly concerning." Maya smiled. "Good night, Adrian." "Good night, Maya." Inside, Sam was reviewing evidence when her phone vibrated, then vibrated again, then a third time. Her expression changed immediately. Maya noticed. "What happened?" Sam looked up, slowly, concern replacing satisfaction. "Priya." Maya stepped inside. "What about her?" Sam turned the screen. A secure message had arrived through a protected channel. No signature, no identification, just a single sentence. Internal review compromised. Do not trust every regulator. The room went silent. Nadia stood. Lena looked up from across the room. Maya read the message twice, then a third time. Not because it was confusing, because it was plausible, dangerously plausible. Sam's phone rang. Priya. Sam answered immediately and switched to speaker. Priya's voice filled the room, calm, controlled, concerned. Maya, I'm here. I think we have a problem. Maya already knew. What happened? There was an inquiry. From regulators. Yes, that's normal. Not this one. The room became still. Priya continued. The questions were too specific. Maya felt a cold weight settle into her stomach. What kind of specific? They asked about evidence that has not been disclosed. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved, because everyone understood what that meant. Someone knew. Somehow, somewhere inside the process, someone already knew. Maya looked around the room. At Nadia. At Sam. At the evidence spread across the table. They had found the witness. They had found the truth. And now they faced a new question. Could they trust the people responsible for enforcing it? Outside, the water remained calm. Inside, the fight had changed. And for the first time, Maya suspected the fraud extended farther than Calyx Meridian Group.